Anyway, last night, spoiler alert for people, we thought it was the run. It wasn't the run. We made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. We had a 2-0 series lead, and we lost in 6 games to the Colorado Avalanche, who I cannot put in the Western Conference because you cannot realign things once a mode has started. We do know that veteran players like Wayne Gretzky, Doug Gilmour, they haven't retired, so there is a very good chance that we could go back. But we're in a really, really weird spot right now because we kind of sort of went all in last year. Of course, goaltending continued to be an issue. Patrick Waugh, we had to frickin' trade him. Jim Carey was amazing in the playoffs up until the finals. Again, he had over a 940 entering the finals, so so close. So close. And then, of course, our defense. We lost the Zdeno Chara to injury in the Cup final. That hurt a lot. The death knell was we lost Pavel Datsyuk to injury, and we just couldn't recover from it. So I'm intrigued to see how this plays out. It was 2000, the NA versus World All-Star format. I think so. I'm terrible with dates like that in terms of like when All-Star formats changed. We're off to the draft. The Boston Bruins have the first overall pick. But let's see. Yeah, Datsyuk's still hurt. Go figure. We do have quite a few draft picks, not as many as we did once upon a time, thanks to the LA Kings absolutely screwing me over. We are going to trade Mike Dunham because that's some decent goalie value there. So I'm never investing in high overall goalies again because we know that we should not, basically. Whoops. All right. Mike Dunham. Teppo Newman and Joe Murphy in a 7th, or 2/3 in McBain. Well, Arizona wants him. Is Carey's still going to be our number 1? That depends on who's available in free agency. Teppo's still good. Interesting. Joe Murphy's not horrific either. That could be a sign and flip for Joe Murphy. That's actually a good deal for us. We'll be able to get more than 2/3 for Teppo Newman and Joe Murphy once they're re-signed. So we'll send Mike Dunham off to the Phoenix Coyotes at the time. Defensively, obviously we hope that Chara will get better. Jeff Brown, we might have trouble trading that contract, even though there's no salary cap. Teppo Newman might be taking over for Brown directly. Has Jeff Brown lost his gold? No. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll treat this like we've treated the last couple of drafts here as another Korea joins the league. Aiden Korea off to Boston. Again, I wish we still had all of our eras or a draft class importer or something. That would be awesome. Is there anybody, like Marty Schellin is good, but is there anybody really, really good, like an Andy Brunette type that's clearly not under contract in the future? No reason to not give Andy Brunette an opportunity to make this team. Is a low 6 guys rights enough? No. Let's just use these scrubs that we drafted previously that we're never going to use. There we go. So we'll get the signing rights to Andrew Brunette. Daniel, no idea if I'll be given an opportunity to do that. Time will tell. Calgary, Jimmy Carson, Craig Simpson, Brian Smolinski. Wow. If I can get the 3 of them, I should. I should. I am doing whatever the hell I have to do. Again, we've talked about it. There's no, like, semblance of Oh, let's keep it realistic, stuff like... No, I just want to win, man. We're on a time limit here. I just want to win. So, it shouldn't take too many draft picks to get this deal done. We use our 4th rounder. Okay, it might actually be more expensive than I thought. What about that Colorado 3rd? Shit. Shout to the untouched man. What's going on? All right, we won't go after Carson, but we will go after Smolinski. And, well, actually, Carson shouldn't be that difficult to get. Hold on. Get Tillett out of there. Let's use another draft pick. If we end up flipping these guys, then so be it. There we go. Like I said, we are in full desperation mode to win a championship. Yannick Perreault was available. Steve Larmer's going to get worse. Yannick Perreault should have quick draw, right? 99 face-off for Yannick Perreault. What was his player type? Man, he could be a good fit. Can we get his signing rights? Again, if we end up flipping people, we end up flipping people, but I mean that is the guy to bring in to win some face-offs. Like I said, we can easily use draft picks to get this done. Except I now have too many skaters. Who do we have for random AHLers that we can flip? Islanders are about to make their pick. Rick Zombo. Take Rick Zombo. Do it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Islanders took a dude named Moore, which is fine. All right. Is there anybody else? Anybody else? Any big impact players? I got to live with that Paul Correa trade for the rest of my life. Still gets swept by a 72 face-off guy in coach mode. Probably, yeah. He still probably won't win anything. Who was that 99? What, an overall or attributes? I don't see a 99, my man. Someone had 99 overall. I think your eyes are betraying you. Because there is not a 99 overall. 95. And there you go. It was Joe Sakic. Dallas isn't bad. We could get Fedek. I want to aim for higher than that just because we don't have many assets left. Christie's going to be... No, Christie isn't even an RFA. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, Lidstrom and Yzerman, Fedorov on Detroit. They're all absolutely insane still. Not worried about Steve Thomas. Shanahan still on a decent deal. Valerie Bure is available. Heat, what's going on? Hope you've been well. Scott Niedermeyer. The problem is he plays where Pronger does, and I'm sticking with Pronger. No doubt about it, I'm sticking with Pronger. However, Rootin' Tootin' Steve Ruchin is available. For relatively cheap. Steve Ruchin could be a great pickup for us. Who can I give up to get him? Right. Tony Ludman. It was going to take more than that, but I had to try. I want to keep that first rounder if we can. There we go. We get the signing rights to Steve Ruchin. The Islanders, nobody of that super high level. I mean, they are trading Marty McInnes, but that's not quite what we're looking for. We're looking for the Benoit Hogues of the world. As a two-way. There's a lot of two-way options available. If I can weaken the Rangers, I should do it. Do we have the ability to trade for Benoit Hogues signing rights? Caps are about to make their pick. Unless I'm able to flip them Mike Gartner really quickly. Works for me. Gartner didn't do anything in the playoffs, so... What era is this? It starts off in 1992-93. We are heading into the 1999-2000 season. I was hoping to win before the 2000s began, but that will not be the case. Back to the Rangers. Ottawa, nobody fits the bill to get for really cheap. Philly, Todd, Jitnik. Yeah. Pittsburgh, Ron Francis still has a year. At least Francis, Lemieux, Stevens, they are all getting older. Pittsburgh's time is coming to an end. We did not end up with Alexander Daig, although it wouldn't have been a bad idea. He starts off high overall, but really low ceiling. We can get Rob Lang's signing rights. So again, this is just so that we have options when we're building this team. Can I use the 2/5 to get Rob Lang signing rights? I need to add a player. Got Denny Savard and Mark Messier's deals coming up. Can I use Phil Bourque? There we go. And hopefully there's nobody else, or we're gonna have to start being a little bit more selective. Peter Nedved, expiring contract on the Canucks. We have no choice but to go for him. No choice. If we can get him away from Vancouver, we should. Yeah, Bure is one of the very few players with maxed out value in the league right now. All right, so I'm gonna have to add in a player. We can use Ian LaPerriere because he's just never going to make it. And then we do have a hell of a lot of future third-round picks. What if we use our own next year? And we'll have to use a little bit more. What about another third from New Jersey? And one more pick. Fifth rounder from Toronto. All right, there we go. We got the signing rights to Peter Nedved. And we still have to check the Washington Capitals. Nobody for dirt cheap. Okay, so that's good. We are set up pretty well. Nobody wants to trade outside of pick number 18. So let's look at the draft class here just to see if it's worth trading up. We won't be able to trade up for Tootin. But basically, let's see if we can find like the one guy that we think is the guy, because it's probably the only person we'll trade for. Gail Claremont, Slovenian goalie. Defensively, what about these three? Kim Rensfeld. This team will never win because they have no chemistry. They were literally 2 wins away from winning a cup, my man. All right, so if we take a defenseman, it's Rensfeld. Right wing side. Gustavo Devon. What a name. Okay, there's a couple of options here. We won't be able to get that guy. There's some medium 6s, including a medium 6 gem. That is a rarity. And then at center, is there a low elite? No, there is not. All right. I don't think we're going to bother trading up, but I am going to sim to our pick, which is 20th overall. And let's see. I mean, Rensfeld is the one that's projected next. Again, there's Claremont. 3 years out. Could technically get him later in the draft if we traded down. Rensfeld would have to go now. 3 years out, no confirmed abilities. Left wing side, we got Jesse Locke, 3 years out. And yeah, we didn't trade up for that center. Devin, he was only a 68. Let's see if we can trade down really quickly, because no one's really worth taking here. No trades found. Whatever. Let's make the pick then. Let us go after. We take the guarantee. I got a feeling Gail Claremont's actually going to be a good goalie. And a goalie prospect is the best way for us to go. So let's go off the board. 59 overall medium elite for Claremont. No abilities, but a medium elite goalie has about the same trade value as that pick in the first place. So we're good. Again, that draft just continues to be more about us getting veteran assets for dirt cheap that might make this team, might not. It all just comes down to who regresses, who gets better, so on and so forth. So in terms of goalies, Jim Carey's an RFA, as is Huey, and Fichout as well. So, you know what? We'll go ahead and sign him. And then Gail Claremont can go straight to the AHL. So goaltending might not change that much. Defense, we have to qualify Chris Pronger. That could be interesting. I'm going to let go of Brian Rafalski for now. We'll let go of Randy Mahler. And we'll qualify Tamander. Is Booker T fighting Stone Cold Steve Austin in the grocery store in your top list of best random fights of all time? Or what are your top 5? Define random fights. I imagine, based on the example, you mean in a professional wrestling context. But I'm befuddled. But yes, that is very much up there. All right, so again, we are going to try to re-sign all of these dudes, and if we have to flip some of them, so be it. Again, there's no salary cap. I don't remember if I can turn the salary cap on in the middle of a franchise. I don't think I can. So we probably won't ever have to deal with it. Qualify Dimitra. Qualify Breland for the hell of it. I probably should have just let them go. We'll let go of Loxton at least. And then for the centers, Peter Nedved. Try to sign Peter Nedved again to get him away from Vancouver. A division rival is a good call. Benoit Hogue is awesome. Jesus. Jimmy Carson. Gotta send Steve Ruchin a deal. Who the hell knows what free agency is about to look like? We kind of signed most of the guys here that were going to be the free agents. So we are the market. Free agent class runs through San Jose. And 99 face-off Yannick Perreault. Dougie Gilmore, I don't know if you're going to be back. I don't know if Messier is going to be back either at 38. We really tried to get him and Gratz another cup together. Travis Green was awesome on the fourth line. I do plan on keeping that fourth line together. We'll qualify Damon Lankow, qualify Chris Drury. We're going to let go of Denis Savard for the moment. We'll qualify Sean Bates, Glenn Metropolit, and we have to keep the king of football himself, John Madden. We'll let go of Stefan Yell for the moment, too. All right, let's just spam through all of this, see if anybody rejected. I don't think they did. Robert Lang was the only guy to reject a contract, or I forgot to try and sign him. I'm not sure which one it was. But let's see. Rob Lang, are you going to sign? Yes. Okay. So obviously we'll deal with all the RFAs shortly. But the big thing now is what free agents are available and the hell is this team going to look like? So, all right. Let's handle coaching staff and scouts first because that is quite boring. We did have a great coach last year, so. Whitfield was someone that we lost, so it would pretty much be perfect to bring Stanley back. Give him all the money. I see that the Cincinnati Cyclones announced their pride unis. I did not. Was it the Cyclones last year that had they like painted their ice with the pride theme? It's fucking sick. Ooh, here we go. I want to see these. What do we got? Ooh. November 1st. I like them. They're simple. You know? Because sometimes, like, you see some of these other, like, specialty jerseys. Like, there was a team in the ECHL last year that literally wore ref uniforms, which was pretty funny. Those are clean, man. Those are clean. The Cincy C works out really well, too, to get the flag over the top of it. I might have to get one of those, man. They for sale yet? They do have shirts. Shout out to the Cincy Cyclones. They'll never be my ECHL team of choice, but I respect them. They were the ones that wore the ref jerseys. Well, there you go. There you go. All right. They're now affiliated with the Leafs. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because Newfie's gone. I feel bad for Growlers fans, man. Just Newfoundland in general. Like, they've lost just team after team after team. And I don't know if that's ever going to change, unfortunately. Tim Cook. It is never fun to lose a team, even if it's not, Tier 1, NHL, Major Leagues, whatever the hell. It still sucks. Okay, free agents. Did anybody kind of slip through the cracks here that we weren't aware of? Okay, Niedermeyer is an outright UFA. So we have to throw our name into the hat for him. That's going to happen. I should be excited about that, but how can I possibly be excited when I know he will... Oh my God, is that Tim Thomas? I don't know where my Timmy jersey is right now. It might have to happen. It might have to. Oh, goodness. This turned into a really interesting free agency class because I never remember to check goalies. Okay. Well, here's the problem. We have RFAs. Meaning that we're in a little bit of trouble in terms of roster space. We actually don't have that much roster space. So, can I move out the signing rights to Cristobal Huet? For a 7th round pick, I can't. 6th rounder from the Rangers. Yeah, I need roster spots, so it's got to be for a pick. Well, I guess we'll take a 6th rounder from New York. Sorry, Cristobal, but you're not him. Manny Legacy, can I get anything for you? Okay, that doesn't really help. Let's just take this dude from Pittsburgh, though. And then Eric Fashode, can I get anything from you? No, I cannot, but that's okay. We've cleared things up a little bit more, which is good. Defensively, can I get anything for Commander? No. I'm going to have to just batch trade a bunch of dudes out so that we actually have roster spots here. There's a chance that, again, this team could change drastically heading into this next season. And I mean, like, drastically. Steve Correa stays for the memes. But if I can get rid of these 5 guys, even for a 7th round pick, I should do it. Let's try a 5th first. And shout out, I imagine it's the Bizarra Brigade. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. Let's see what you were up to tonight. Ooh, football. Dude, I need to... You ever get signs in life that it's just like, we're not going to let you forget about this. You got to do this. One of these days, I am just going to be like, you know what? I'm setting a couple weeks aside, and I'm learning Football Manager. It's going to be painful for people that know, because I'm going to be dreadful at it. But I really, really do need to eventually buckle down and learn. But again, thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. What were you up to on Football Manager? I am intrigued. I want to show you Rod Blagojevich tonight between the Condors and the Wranglers. That's a thing, huh? Fair enough. Shout out to that guy who's out of prison somehow. You'll like it, but hate getting fired. I mean, I hate getting fired in any mode that doesn't give me an unlimited amount of time to do what I want to the team. If you ever need help or curious, I'd be happy to help. It's for sure. Long-time lurker. Well, I appreciate that. I hate then when there are people around that stream, because I always try to check things out, but I will I'll drop you the follow and have to check this out here then. Fair enough. Well, one, appreciate the long time lurking. And I have a lot of people who are just like, give it a try, I'll teach you. And it's like it's not as if like the concept of a sim-heavy game is foreign to me. But there is something about Football Manager that's just goddamn intimidating to me. I don't know what it is. More so than any other game. Like, like my brain's like, I could handle Elden Ring. Football Manager, that's the intimidation. Just how my brain's wired. I don't know why. It's almost too late this year because of NCAA. Well, that's the problem, right? That's the problem. Is like if we were going to do it in like the more recent times, it needed to be over the past like month and a half, and that didn't happen. So, Elden Ring is you just swing the sword, right? Doing an American-only transfer policy in Hungary. Picked Hungary because they have no limitations on player signing. Fair. I mean, I obviously like the idea of like USA only, but the fact that it's based in the Hungarian league is hilarious. Also, I think that makes you qualified to coach the U.S. men's national team now. I don't know where you can put in your application, but I highly recommend you do because you simply can't be any worse than Greg Berhalter. I have your answer to your what Twitter? Oh, from earlier. Sorry. God damn it! People always try. How dare you distract me from signing Martin Brodeur? How dare you, AJ? That's hilarious. That's what I should have expected. Goodness. Also, taps are the great meme. My God. Anyway, they're overhauling the hell out of 2025. I did hear about this. I did hear about the changes. Taking applications to their LinkedIn. Or you just got to know a guy. Worked out for Berhalter. Just know a guy. It'll be fine. Okay, what the hell are we going to do here? Shout out to Dill for the follow. Welcome in. When was the last time you heard a Raw versus SmackDown debate? 2004 when the video game came out? It's probably my guess. Okay. Martin Brodeur is there. Colin, take it easy, by the way. What would WWE fans do if AEW didn't exist? Oh, yeah, they would argue about what show was better, wouldn't they? It'd probably go back to an NXT versus WWE thing, wouldn't it? Good answer, Crash. Good answer. Did you hear that U.S. Soccer is waiting for things to calm down before they announce what to do with Berhalter? I mean, I admit to lying this one time. Never lied before in my life, ever. Never even undersold anything. I said I wasn't going to care about the U.S. men's national team until they got their shit together. So heading into Copa America, I was like, it's fine. I don't care. And then to see how badly they ballsed it up, I definitely care. I can't lie and say I don't care. It's annoying as hell that they continue to make no progress. I am very happy for Canada, though. I am. Obviously, this will end up on YouTube, God knows when. But hopefully Canada beat Argentina. All right. Really quickly. Goalies. Oh, there are some medium starters that aren't that bad. See name Trundle thrown around a lot. That's not the right choice. I mean, you're gonna go to, you're gonna go to old names, right? Like that's my expectation, is it'll be like DeMarcus Beasley or somebody like that. That's my guess. Someone from the real golden generation to sort it out. I got to come back to goalies because I don't know what to do here. Like, everything in my mind screams sign Martin Brodeur, even if it means we're just going to end up trading him because we know that high-rated goalies in this game suck when they're on your team. On defense, again, Niedermeyer is a must. We let go of Rafalski. Niinima isn't bad. He could be the third pair defense. He was god-awful last year. Jesus, but he could be pretty good. But then again, we have Scott Niedermeyer now. And I might have to choose between Niedermeyer and Pronger because Chara's probably on the second pair now. unless Chara stays on the third pair because he hasn't developed. Don't get me wrong, decisions are nice, but this is torturous. We absolutely have to send an offer to Scott Niedermayer. Dill, so there are faces in the game. What we're doing, though, is using a community-created roster. And when it is a custom roster, it doesn't generate player faces or anything like that, even off of the player model. It just has the silhouette. It sucks, and everybody hates it. But that's the way it's working. So, the Blue Guards tonight, both teams wore prison uniforms. That's a hilarious troll at the very least. Okay, the good news. There's no great forwards available. No disrespect to Bob Probert. We're definitely signing Milan Hajduk. That's happening. Even for the AHL, that's happening. There's Corey Stillman out there, not offering a contract to Don Sweeney. I'd love to, but, you know. Dude, like, Gerber could be worth signing. No faces. Good night, buddy, right? But Thomas is better than any of these guys because he's high starter. And he's 23. We got to sign Tim Thomas. We absolutely have to. It's a must. I feel like I have to sign Brodeur. Even if we end up trading him like we did with Wah, we have to try and sign Martin Brodeur and Scott Niedermayer. We can't possibly let these guys go. So that should work. If we get declined by anybody, I'm actually going to be kind of sad. Well, we got declined by the coach, but that's fine. Colin Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San Francisco. You see, it's a spin-off of, Anchorman was a movie in 2004. Anyway. Oh, I hate this. Just let me patch, accept that they either signed or didn't. Jesus Christ, it takes so long. Tim Thomas is signed. Milan Hajduk is signed. Scott Niedermayer has signed. Martin Brodeur has signed. Chris Drury gets offer sheeted by the Rangers. Will match that deal. Pavel Demitra signs. Oh, Sean Bates is back. Chris Pronger took his qualifying offer. Jim Carey, we're going to match that offer. We're not letting the net detective go quite yet. Honestly, Brodeur, Thomas, and Carey might be my my goaltending trio for this season. Cynthia, what's going on? It wasn't an offer sheet for Niedermayer. He was the UFA. They signed him immediately, which is why. Okay. Do we have any other RFAs? No. So, okay. Cody, that doesn't surprise me. The freaking player picture database is so far behind for so many people. It's honestly hilarious. Okay. Focus. So goalies, Brodeur, Carey, Thomas. At the moment, will be our trio. We got to at least see if Brodeur can actually play like Brodeur. Right? I mean, he has a career 906 right now, which shows that goaltending isn't consistent in this mode at all. We're going to have to choose between Niedermayer and Pronger. That's not surprising. Send down a couple of forwards real quick. We got to call up everybody that is technically an NHL caliber player. Send down Andy Brunette for the moment. And then Tom Pody. Okay. So we already know big decision number one is Niedermayer and Pronger. They're both still young enough that they will regress if we try to play one of them on the second pairing. We could try to offset it by special teams, but it is probably worth just getting rid of one and bringing in a big name player or a bunch of draft picks. Both of them are two ways. We have Niedermayer with better puck skills, and I'm going to be flipping back and forth here quite a few times. Niedermayer's got the better puck skills. He's got the better senses. Shots about even. Defense, both 5 stars. Skating is the same. Okay, so Pronger has the increased physicality. Niedermayer's a bit better with the puck. That's what we have to choose between. Zubov is staying. So Niedermayer is capable of 60, 70 points, which is pretty damn good. He hits, not a ton, blocks a ton of shots. And for those who care about the whole giveaway takeaway thing, he honestly doesn't take away the puck as much as I was hoping he was going to. Pronger, honestly, is pretty similar. Blocks, hits, even with the better physicality, he doesn't hit that much more than Niedermayer. I mean, we drafted Chris Pronger to be our captain. But Scott Niedermayer might be jumping him. Pronger would have much higher trade value, too. 1-year deal at $6.1 million, that value is going to be high. Okay. We're still going to have to make a choice there, and I haven't at the moment. It's going to be potentially Niedermayer or Pronger with Zubov. That's confirmed. We are saying goodbye to Sandis Ozelinch more than likely. I could technically play him on the third pair this year, but he would probably start to decline. So we'll consider it. Chara is absolutely second pair left defenseman. Probably alongside Teppo Numminen. Jeff Brown actually kept his abilities, so it could be Jeff Brown. And then third pair could be Ozo and Numminen. Hello, Numminen. Tom Pody's not that bad as a third pair option. Can't skate worth a damn, though. Okay. I have a general idea of what I want to do there, but nothing is set in stone. I think every single one of these guys are two-way defenders, too. So, As far as the forwards are concerned, because we can just send down defensemen for the moment while we figure out what the hell's going on with the forwards. Anybody who can potentially make this team needs to be called up. How much did Pronger, Niedermayer regress? That's the question that I'm debating. And the problem is, it would also mean putting Chara down on the third pair, meaning he'd regress too. Which means we'd have about one shot to truly go all in and hope that they develop, or it would be real bad news. That's where the problem sets in. Good Lord, speaking of the problem. Okay. Okay. Oh, boy. Perhaps some positive news is that Pavel Datsyuk stayed as a second liner, and Wayne Gretzky is actually back up to a second liner. I know it's cut off by the webcam right now. This is going to take a while to sort out who's staying and who's going. Like, aside from, well, we know Milan Hajduk is staying in the minors. Dimitra in Korea as well, but this is... Okay. Well, let's start in on this. We know that Pavel Bure is staying, no matter what. We elected to stay loyal to Pavel. He's our guy. Which means if we stick with the whole sniper, playmaker, power forward, we could keep the top line of Forsberg, Gretzky, Bure. We could. We could. Goodness. Otherwise, it would be, if we wanted a power or a playmaker on the left, it wouldn't be anybody there. Forsberg is the power forward. Nedved's a sniper, so he's not going to fit on that top line. Carson's a sniper. Datsuk's not going to fit. I mean, running Gretzky as the 1C on one hand is kind of crazy, but on the other, I mean, he's still not bad at all. But also, Gretz could be the third line center this year as more of a playmaker. Which means I don't even know if we're keeping Yannick Perreault. Oh my God. Keep Gretzky or our friendship's over. That is quite the threat, Crash. All right, so Wayne Gretzky's gone. So in theory, okay. In theory, let's say we keep the Forsberg, Gretzky, Bure line together. We're staying loyal to Pavel Datsuk because it's Pavel Datsuk, right? So he is going nowhere. Which means the third line needs to be more of a skill line. And the fourth line will still be more of a grinder-based line, probably the line we had last year. So Tony Granato would still fit really, really well on Datsuk's right. I mean, that was a great line in the playoffs. Joe Murphy could fit as a sniper, and then Matt Barnaby could fit on the fourth line right wing spot, right? Left wing side, Patrick Elias. I mean, we could keep our top six together, is what I'm realizing here. I thought it would have to change more based on player development, but Elias could still be second line center. Craig Simpson could play third line sniper. Andy Brunette could also play third line sniper. Simpson had abilities, though. Brunette wouldn't regress, but I'm not worried about 32-year-old Craig Simpson regressing. And then Scott Thornton could still be the fit on the fourth line, like he was last year. And then the centers. So Peter Nedved, I mean, technically, he would have to play on the third line or be traded, which is a bit of a risk. That's a hell of a third liner to have. Send Gretzky to the Coyotes 6 years early, right? Benoit Hogue is not going to fit on this team. He's just not. He's not going to take Datsuk's spot. So we know that Benoit Hogue is on the outs. Steve Ruchin, also as a two-way, he's going to be on the outs because he's not replacing Pavel Datsuk, and I don't plan on putting Pavel Datsuk on the left wing unless, 88 faceoffs. Datsuk didn't develop as a skater at all. Jesus. If Datsuk's on the left wing, it means Patrick Elias is out. But Elias last year had 75 points. Sergachev, correct. And hello. What's Ruchin doing as a... Ruchin's capable of putting up 70 points too, but there's really no reason to keep Steve Ruchin. Jimmy Carson could compete for that Peter Nedved spot on the third line. Datsuk stays. What's up, Enda? We got Rob Lang as a power forward. That could work. Could. Interesting. Ryan Smolinski as a two-way. That's not going to work. That leaves us Travis Green as Damon Lankow as the last two to call up. Okay. We know Gretz is good. Yannick Perreault, I hate to say it, but even with your amazing face-offs, you're not going to make the team. There's Mark Savard, who absolutely could make the team. Not a guarantee, but it could happen. Dougie Gilmour still has his gold. The problem with Gilmour is that his offensive production died in the playoffs. Got Mark Messier. Hate to say it. We're probably not keeping Messier around this year. Damon Lankow also isn't going to make the team. Travis Green will on that fourth line again. Call up Zubov here. Right. So now that we almost have this sorted, we know that Green, Thornton, Barnaby will be the fourth line again because they were awesome last year. Absolutely awesome, even in the playoffs. I think Elias, Datsuk, Granato is going to stay. I mean, there's really no reason to change that top six unless suddenly they don't work anymore. So, is tonight the run ripped to last night? I hope. We were close. So, third line. Third line. Did Murphy have any abilities? He does. Left wing side. Brunette was one without abilities. Andy Brunette is out. We'll have the ability to call up our defenseman again. So if Brunette's out, it leaves either Simpson or Murphy on the wing, unless we wanted to run Peter Nedved or Jimmy Carson on the third line. Nedved has a higher overall. Carson has the gold, so that's the tough one. It would make sense to go with one of them anyway. So let's rule out Craig Simpson. And we'll also rule out Joe Murphy. Which means it's center. Hate to say it, but Gilmour, Savard, Lang, you are probably all out. And then Carson also probably isn't going to make... Well, it comes down to either Carson or Nedved. That's in the system. So it comes down to Carson or Nedved. Okay. So, I think I know what we need to get now. That's step one. We knew this would be a pretty intensive process to try and figure out what the hell this team was going to be. So I thank you for sticking with me on that. So now that we know some of the guys that we want to trade, we also know what we need, which is going to be a third-line power forward and a third-line playmaker. Preferably in their proper side, just to try and stop the game from doing anything screwy of like, oh, well, you played a center as a left wing, so screw you. I'm trying to give this freaking game no excuses to screw us over here. So if we were to look for a forward... I don't want a specific zone ability. It's just let's go one or more. It's a lefty. It can be a playmaker or a sniper. It doesn't matter. Right. I hate that I can't sort by left wing. Can I do that, please? Why can't I sort by left wing? That's annoying. Well, let's look at playmakers really quickly. It's 23 of them. Martin Straka. Mark Recchi's expensive as hell. So, for playmakers, we'd be looking at Straka, Yuri Hudler, bring back Garpenloff after all this time. I've kind of regretted that trade ever since it happened. Could bring back Joe Juno. All right, so we do have options. More on the left than the right, though. Got Nikolai Borchevsky. Okay. We can leave it at that. So left wing side's looking a little bit better for playmakers. What's the right looking like? Actually, in fairness, because this are left-handed, Hudler and Borchevsky were the wrong hands, so that's fine. So right-handed playmakers, we have Marty McInnes, Jeff Courtnall, who did not work on this team last year. So it would be Marty McInnes. Right. And then for snipers, we were to look for a right-handed sniper for that third line that's actually possible to acquire. I mean, getting Brett Hull from the Blues, like we swept the Blues in the playoffs last year in the conference final, but that could be pretty good. They also have Emerson, Ray Shepard, who we lost to in the Cup final, Dmitry Kristich. I mean, there's some options for sure. Donald Audette is also out there. All right, we're going to see who fits this team the best. We got Riche. There's another sniper. I mean, obviously, we're going to have to do some research here. I think we can go above an 85. And shout out to Pat Falloon, who we finally traded away because he could not cut the mustard. And I wasn't supposed to be looking up snipers because we already have a sniper. I was supposed to be looking up power forwards. Well, that's a shame. We wasted a couple seconds. Sorry to kill your Brett Hull dreams. Meant to go power forward. Jerome McGinley's not going to work. Trevor Linden. Third line. Trevor Linden as a power forward. Cam Neely. We'll avoid Shanahan because I want people on their strong-handed side. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid any shenaniganery from this game and leave them with no choice but to say you lost because screw you. We also got Anson Carter. Claude Lemieux was a terror in the early couple of seasons of this run. And then there's also McLean at an 87. A lot of power forwards on that side, and also Scott Mellenby. And Rick Jesus, there's a lot of power forwards. And, of course, all of these guys have abilities, too. Shout out to Dave Andrechuk, who's hanging in there. So, left side power forwards. How many do we have? Kachuk's going to be potentially a little bit too valuable. But that does leave us with Kevin Stevens, the Suhonen guy who I wouldn't want to play in that position anyway. Brian Ralston, I wouldn't play in that spot. We could bring back John LeClaire, who we didn't use last year. Younger dude named Marikas, I wouldn't want to stunt in his development. Gary Roberts could fit this team. Kirk Muller could fit this team pretty well as well. Zelapukin was terrible for us last year. We have Shannon. So it actually really doesn't matter left or right side. It's just who is the best possible player that we can get is what it comes down to. Okay. Well, that's good. At least we have a variety of options. We got to look at some trade values here because we're going to need it to pull off these deals. But we're running out of draft picks to use. But we do have a Martin Brodeur to trade away, who can fetch us potentially any player in the world.